Hello you absolute legends, welcome back to the channel. It's John here for an update video. It's an update from inside my latest car purchase. If you haven't seen the video on the channel already, I've bought myself a Mk1 Audi TT. It's the coupe edition, not the roadster edition. I have got one of those in my collection. And I wanted to do an update video really to let you guys know how it's been, how it's driving, how it feels, and what I know after driving 537 miles. If you haven't seen the video on the channel already of me walking around the car, you'll see that when I bought it, it got some interesting modifications and it covered 139,000 miles from new. That normally would put a few people off. I put a picture on Twitter of the car. It had tinted lights, it had tinted back screen, it had decals all over it, and a few people were like, John, run away from this car. It's going to have been abused, it's going to have had the arse end dragged off it, and it's not going to have been looked after very well. But did that stop me, those naysayers on Twitter? No, of course not. I went ahead with my £1,500 and I bought my Audi TT. I've got a chance to talk about it now. What do I know? The guy that sold it to me was a bit of a numpty. He nabbed the parcel shelf out the back, which is now returned. I went and got it. I drove the 40 miles back to where I got the car from, and I picked it back up. And he was a bit sheepish about it, but I've got it. And things I've done to the car, if you haven't seen the update video already, I've removed the terrible light tints, and I have removed the horrible graphics and all the bits and pieces that were added to the car that shouldn't be on the car since it's been modified. Things I haven't done yet, I haven't removed the tinted rear windscreen glass. I'm a bit dubious about doing it wrong, so I've got to find a time and date to do it, and it's actually been horrible and wet and windy. The guy I bought it from, 87 years old. Has he ragged it? No. He's into his 3.2 Audi TTs, and he's got a few in his collection. And I've actually had a good look through all the paperwork, and apart from a period of 6 months in the car's history before the guy I bought it from, it'd been with guys, and they are guys, because I've got the names of the people, 6 or 7 years a pop. So the owners have had the car for 6 or 7 years and have done lots of service to all these cars, waving at this other Audi TT. This car the past few years, so it has been looked after. In my initial video, I noticed that there was a bit of a grinding from a wheel hub or a wheel bearing at the back, and that there was a lot of travel from the brake pedal. The brake pedal travel I can live with. I've learnt to now drive the car, I suppose. I'm going to take a look at the brakes. I don't think that it's dangerous because the car's got a recent MOT the past month or so. But what do I know then after driving it for nearly 600 miles? It's quite quiet. It's not as rattly or knocky or bangy as the convertible Roadster edition. There's minimal wind noise. The turbo, I think, needs some attention, i.e. there's a bearing in it that's a bit rattly, but it does the job. The ride is nice and smooth. Again, I think that there's a wheel hub or wheel bearing that will need looking at in the future. Am I going to rush and do it? Probably not, actually. All the electrics work. There's no electrical faults at all. I thought there was one on the way home just now, in that my interior light came on when I went over a bump. I thought, that's it, a lock mechanism sensor micro switch is faulty, but it wasn't. I hadn't shut the boot properly, my fault. It hadn't told me because it sort of engaged, and then as I've gone over this bump, it's disengaged and my boot has come open. So it actually told me that the boot was open. That's not a fault. The radio works perfectly. I did think that the rear speakers weren't working. I've realised that they're a subwoofer. Now I've set the radio up fine, working nice. I've even tested it because it's got a cassette deck with a cassette deck. The aircon, it's not perfect. It works. All the climate control. Is it ice cold? No, it's not. Has the aircon ever been regassed? Well, it doesn't look like it through the paperwork. Something I'm going to address. The only thing, to me, that I think is a little bit of a red flag is I'm getting 27 to 30 miles per gallon out of the car. Is that standard? No, I would probably expect 35 to 40. That's exactly what the manufacturers suggest. What could that be? Well, it could be lots of many different things, isn't it? I have filled her up with E10. Not recommended for E10. I have put Red X in the tank, and that seems to have sprightened her up a little bit. But overall, my driving experience, my experience of the car so far has been a good one. I've been commuting in it. I've had some good comments from friends at work and colleagues. I've had the comments about it being a hairdresser's car. I've had the comments about it being beautiful and a very good condition car for its age. What am I going to do with it? Well, I bought the car for Mrs. John Coupland. She hasn't driven it yet due to personal health reasons at the moment. She's okay, but she's had an operation this week that we didn't know was happening. And so she's not been out and about and wanting to drive the car. I've continued to run it, going to work, and actually, after running it for a good couple of days, taking it 500 or 600 miles, it seems to have improved a bit. Again, I'm going over a bump. You can see my phone has moved in the holder that I'm recording with, but yeah, it's lovely. Suspension good, brakes okay. 140,000 miles, an Audi TT. Do I think it's been ragged with an inch of its life? No. Was I concerned that it had after I'd spoken to people on the internet? Yeah, absolutely. And my concern was the worst case scenario is it's going to go bang. There's a cut in the video because I came up to a roundabout and I didn't want to be talking whilst I was navigating a roundabout. So the one thing that I am going to do to the car, and it's booked in for this Monday with Dad, is to change the timing belt, because it has not been documented that it's been done since 70,000 miles. It was done 6 or 7 years ago. So that is something I'm going to be doing on Monday. Replace the timing belt and the water pump as well. I'm going to do that at the same time. Yeah, impressed. Watch this space. I'm enjoying it, genuinely. And it's been a good car so far. Again, I've only done 500 miles. It could break down tomorrow, right? But genuinely enjoying the car. I've been commuting in it. It's been getting a lot of love. It's not as rattly and horrible as I thought it was going to be. I haven't found any problems electronically or really mechanically. Things I'm going to do to the car to make it nice are on the way. But yeah, I wanted to give it an honest opinion. I didn't want to give you any fluff, but I also didn't want to lie to you and say, oh, the wheels are fine, when they weren't. Anyway, more updates from the Audi TT coming in the coming weeks and months as I drive it and as Mrs. John Coupland drive it. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a like and a subscribe if you haven't already done so. And let me know in the comments below. Have you had an Audi TT Mark 1? Was it a coupe? Was it a roadster? What did you think? Were you a fan? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, have a great day, whatever you're getting up to. More to come on the Audi on the channel. Take care. Thanks for watching. And goodbye.